It's the start of the round. How will they start their approach? Throws him down. Was well in range to score the throw. Still slugging it out here. Starts off zoning with fireballs. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Who's gonna make a move? Very nice anti-air there. They read their opponent like a book. Consistent anti-air is huge because shutting down the air game will let you dictate the pace of the match much easier. Player 2 takes a big gamble and rips out a raw super. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. The jump-in is denied. Player 1 doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. It goes for the super art? Awesome! Even with both fighters in burnout, this may be the time to strike and take the round. Player 1 is gonna have to wait for that drive gauge. Can they stick it out? Solid blocking. This is a critical point of the round where they just need to go for it. It's been a fight, so both players decide to stand down and catch their breath. Time to reassess the situation? Both fighters are weighing their options and looking for an opening. There's only 20. Finishes it with the anti-air! Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Sandblast! Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. They gotta be careful not to overextend or their opponent might go for a side switch. Player 1 will want to take advantage of their meter lead while they have it. Drive rush to keep it going. Player 1 has the life lead. Can they use it? There's been some back and forth, but no one has dominated the fight. Going in? Barely blocks the jump in. Their spacing is so on point, but who's gonna blink first? Pokes with a medium kick. Big throws. Both fighters planning something? Player 2 is barely hanging in there, but can still mount a comeback using their drive. Quick breather. The fighters just took a super art. Goes KO. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight!
Awesome! Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 1 managed their drive gauge well to create lots of opportunities for themselves. Let's see if they can maintain this rhythm. This is the ideal, but adds a bit of OD spice there. Player 1 is in a pretty good clutch anti-air. Player 1 is barely hanging on to their last bit of drive. Can this drive bring them back? Drive gauge is almost out. Use them anti-air in the clutch. Wreck them. Burns out. Amazing. There's a burnout. Both fighters' drive gauges might be burned out, but the fire, will this super art do anything? What were they thinking? Player 1 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. Close range projectile. A jump knocked them out of the air. Solid anti-air. This is gonna hurt. Player 2, now they can use drive. Slips in the drive impact. Player 2 comes out on top of that fierce battle. Talk about a show. That match had it all. It's not over yet. Just believe it's time for that run back. The first round begins. No time to save that stuff for nationals. It's time to go all in. Zones with the fireball. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Player 2 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. The drive gauge is completely empty, meaning that brings out the super art. How is this gonna work out for them? This is a gigantic life lead. How are they going to deal with this? KO! Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Big gap between the two fighters, so they throw out a fireball. checking to see how the opponent reacts to long-range fireballs. This is a clear sign that they're testing their opponent's knowledge and game plan. Jumps in! Drive gauge gap here. Player 2 is working with a less than ideal drive gauge. They'll need to be very careful here. A quick breather. KO! That's what happens when you capitalize on all of your chances.
Nervous? Getting cold feet?
We currently have a player on a winning streak. The featured player's win streak has been stopped. We currently have a player on a winning streak. We currently have a player on a winning streak.
comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are ready to lay it all on the line.
All right, you ready?
Round one. Fight.
The fight's now underway. This is Vicious with the play-by-play. Shoots off a projectile from downtown to check their approach. Goes with the projectile to pressure the opponent. Throwing on even more pressure with the fireballs. Player one has them legit shook in the corner. Backs them into the corner. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. With the life gap opening up, they need to lean hard on their drive usage. They can open up this round big by converting this punish counter. Next hit, they couldn't shake the projectile. Player one picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round two. Fight.
A brave forward jump there to start. They piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Player two got completely shut out that round. Can they make a comeback? Takes the opponent out of the air. This is a chance to dictate the pace. Player one will look to apply pressure. Hits him with a stop and pop. Zones with the fireball. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Burnout activates. Player two will have to dig in deep to get that drive in. Bends the meter, hoping for a good return. Burns out. Our fighters are at a standstill. What's the play here? Barely blocks the jump in. Knockdown and forward throw. Laying the pressure on Thick. Player one blocks the low kick. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. Player one, can you dare the drive impact? The Dragon Blast Super hit comes off the tank and scores the win. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Final round. Fight.
Player two, flipping the script with a turnaround super. Uses their drive gauge. Player two drops them to half, closing the gap. Now, can they finish experiencing burnout? Player one will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Both turns out. Picks up the counter. This is going to... Will this super art do anything? What were they thinking? Player two, excellent read. They're recovered. Player tries to make something happen with an overdrive art. Checks with a sandblast. A jump anti-air in the clutch. The low's blocked. Gets into perfect fireball. Perfect execution with the anti-air. Player two can't win this without pulling the trigger. This is a complete shutdown. Burns out. Escapes the drive impact doesn't work. Sticks out a kick. Denies the jump in attempt. Player one gets the win in a convincing fashion. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Uses the target combo as a filler. There's an overdrive arc. Player one chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player one in that dangerous burnout state. They need to hold out. Definitely shuts out the jump. Player two has used up all of their drive gauge. Managing their drive gauge well here can open up a lot of good chances for them later in the round. They need to make good use of the gauge without emptying it. Shoots off a projectile from downtown to check their approach. They get the distance they want. Let's see their approach. A good chance here to recover the drive gauge or figure out the next step. How much damage can they deal before the opponent's drive gauge replenishes? Trips them up. Does a good job of pushing back. Escapes the corner to reset the situation. The jump in is denied. Not so fast. Player one has the meter. And a super activation. Looking to score some juicy damage. Blocks the low heavy. Okay, creating some space here. Taking stock. Player two needs to deal with this burnout. Sandblast! Rising uppercut! Player one saw them sweating against the wall and gets in the throw. Player one picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round two. Fight.
closes the gap. Long low attack hits. Jumps in. Ooh, lands a rising uppercut. Goes with the safe stuff with that target card. The quarter hits him with a stopping block. The super doesn't hit. The punish counter gives them a great opening here to do big damage. Player one will have to deal. Burnout activates. Breaks the block with a throw. Going in. Player one needs to use the threat of the foot. They're recovered. Oh, hit knockdown. Here comes the victim. That's not gonna hit. The low kick hits. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna. Oh, yo! Rock super hit. Tries to make something happen with an overdrive arc. They both. There's a burnout. Both of them back off. They may be preparing for the fight. Gotta do better than that. Closes it out. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Final round. Fight!
Opens with a jump in. Blocks the low kick. Nice fireball. The low. Smart stuff. Poking at that range to zone the opponent. Player sets up with the jump in. What are they gonna do? What now? Blossom. Fireball pressure. Trying to wear down the opponent. Good distance for a shot. Both sides. All the throw connects. Player one. Nothing stops this train. Back to the burns out. Finds the target. Lost super art incoming. Excellent read. Who will set the bait at this range? Oh, come on, kid. Why would you use the super? Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? Checks with a sandblast. Goes airborne. Player one, they couldn't take it. Player one comes out on top of that fierce battle. Talk about a show. That match had it all. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Hits the drive. Big throws. Throws them to negate the block. Player one chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of range. Player one has them legit shook in the corner. Knockdown. They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball pressure in the corner. Big counter. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Life lead opens up. Takes a trip. Jump. Very solid corner. A gutsy fireball gives them the round. Player one picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round two. Fight!
Immediate jump in. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Player one creates a good corner opportunity. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. From low heavy to... There's a change of sides. Player experiencing burnout. Smart play with the throw. Player one in dire straits with burnout. Close range projectile. Player two is barely hanging in low heavy. Or that throw is gonna take off a chunk of damage. Their spacing drops them. Knocks them out of the air. Player one needs some excellent read. Both of them back off. Now they can use drive. Any mistake here is gonna be fatal. What's it gonna be? Low heavy, but no go. Pumps the brakes on the impact. Player one can't let this sit. What a finish! Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent hits them with a stopping block. Strings it all together. Decent damage. What's next? What are they thinking here? Player two has them legit shook in the corner. Backs them into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Have the radar up and running. Both fighters are working with empty drive gauges, but I'm sure they want to make something happen. Player two needs to deal with this burnout. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireballs. Player one will want to take advantage of their meter lead while they have it. shoots off a fireball up close. They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball pressure in the corner. Player 1 chases them down. Hits them with a stopping block. Brings out the super art. What a finish. Great meat in the life gauge there. Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Now, hit rising uppercut. How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? Burnout activates. Fights out of the corner, back to the center of the stage. What'll happen here? Player 1 in dire straits, looking to impress with this super. Both fighters planning something? Looking for a chance. Jumps in. Ooh, lands a rising uppercut. Sneaks in the throw. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Fight round! Fight!
Goes for the jump in to start. Uses the fireball to try and get a reaction. Awesome! Player 2 couldn't even get a tickle. Might be time for a change. Rising uppercut. Player 1 hits him with a stopping block. Uses the gauge for a super art. This Dragon Lash Flame could be big. Player 1 is in a pretty good situation with a meter advantage. What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Player 2 with a goes to the air. The low's blocked. Throws him. Okay, here we go. Dangerous range hit fades out the low kick. Not so fast. Player turning it right up with a super. What now? Uses their drive gauge. Are we gonna see a comeback here? This is so tense. This is a gigantic fight where they're looking to connect with an overdrive art from this situation. Noticeable life crashes out the cage right there. The Pale Rider's falling. Looking to put him 6 feet under with it falling. Player 2 can you tries to make something happen with an overdrive art.
10 left. 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 10 left.
This round may end with a timeout. Can either fighter the finishing blow sneaks through. Player 2 clinches the win. But that could have been anyone's game. No way we could have called that. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. The low. Jumps in. Sandblast. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Taking stock. What's their game plan here at this critical stage? Uses the fireball to try and establish their pace. Throws them to negate the block. Throws them. What's next? Player 1 experiencing burnout. Player 1 needs to hold out until their drive gauge recovers. Picks up the win with the projectile. Good read. Player 1 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Round 2. Fight!
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Rising uppercut. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of him. Bends the meter, hoping for a good return. Player 2 holding on to that corner advantage. Medium kick hit. Blocks the impact. Uses the impact to shave off some of their drive gauge. Burnout activates. Goes for the fireball, which is very strong at this range. Ooh, lands a rising uppercut. Crowns him from above. KO! Player 1 took no time to finish that fight. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? Blocks the low heavy. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireball. Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. Okay, takes them all the way to the corner. Almost had it, but he gets blocked. Blocks the impact, but they're still pushed back. Lots of aggression from both sides. There's a corner switch. Knockdown. Goes with the projectile to pressure the opponent. Throws out the fireball to check him. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Knockdown. Player 1 chases him down. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. Misses the drive impact. Brings out the super art. How's it gonna work out for them? The Dragon Last Flame giving them a side switch on top of the deck. That was a well-placed projectile. Player 2 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight!
Sandblast! Who's going to start things off? Throws out a projectile. Player 2 did a great job of beating their opponent up close that last round. Can they keep the momentum? Jinrai kick for a mix-up. This is the perfect range to reach out and tag them with something. Closes the gap. Both fighters need to find a way to utilize their drive. It'll be interesting to see how both players utilize their drive gauge to dictate the terms of the match. This is the ideal range to utilize the fireball game. Good distance for a shot. Avoids getting stuck in the corner somehow. Overdrive art. You've got to be mindful of reach and jump-ins at this range. Watching each other carefully. Who will make the first move? Manages to block the jump-in attack. Midway through the round, experiencing burnout. Player 2 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Checks with a medium kick. Awesome. Do they have enough? Burnout activates. Both sides in burnout. They can't drive. They're using it. Now they can use drive. Player 1 will have. Lands a rising uppercut. The drive impact doesn't work. Little connects with the throw. What's next? Oh, they're recovered. Hit that with confidence. Overhead, but it won't work. Any mistake here is gonna be fatal. What's it gonna be? Oh, what a finish! This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight!
Player 1 flipping the script with adds a bit of OD spice. Player 1 just put themselves on equal footing with that super. Nobody blinked. Both fighters are standing firm. It goes to the air. Player 1 goes all in with the uppercut. All the throw connects. Player 1 with the rhythm owning that space. The low kick hits. Low forward throw. Laying the pressure on Finn. Turns out.
I am the prize.
Ooh, what a smart throw. No! Stunned off the wall. What? Now they can use drive. And it is on. Tries to make something happen with an overdrive arc. Excellent block. Oh my God, Rock Super. They can't get hit here. Oh, kisses the fireball. Player 1 really had to fight for that one. No shortage of drama.
Somersault. Hadouken.
Here comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are ready to lay it all on the line.
Round one. Fight.
All right, first round. What's going to happen? Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Player 2 has them legit shook in the corner. They don't score the punish counter, but still get a nice hit in. There's a wall splat, which leaves them wide open. They couldn't escape the pressure of the impact. Player 1 has not been shy about using their drive gauge. Grabs them, throws them to negate the block. Sticks the combo. Player 1 chases them down. Gets them. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Shoots off a fireball up close. They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball pressure in the corner. Is the fireball part of their corner game? Takes a trip. Sandblast! From up above. You can open up chances to do big damage by baiting something out, getting that opening, and then jumping in. The low heavy block brushes that off and keeps going. It's a good spot to use the super. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Out of drive gauge. Now is the time. Player 2 will need to play it conservative and ooh, what a smart blow. Player 1 can't let this simmer. They're going for the super art. Cashes out of a Shikukira. We're so close. They're recovered. Low heavy. Raw super art incoming. Excellent read. Player 2 is what was it? He closes it out. Player 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Low heavy. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. They get the distance they want. Let's see their approach. The fighters take a step back to reassess. Time for a new game plan. Super meter is looking bare right now. Will they try to hang back to stock up or continue fighting? Knockdown. Will this super art connect? Player 2 is using their drive liberally. Taking stock. Projectile to try and change the situation. So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Player 1 needs to deal with this burnout. They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball pressure in the corner. Player brings out the super art. How is this going to work out for them? Getting into the end game now. It's getting tense. So little life left. Sandblast. Plenty of space between the fighters. What will be their approach? Jumps up. Throw. Misses. Player 1 holding on to that corner advantage. A quick brief on super art. In there. Player 1 with the first strike, but they can't get complacent.
Round 2. Fight.
Now, can they finish the job? Player 1 might have just shifted this round into high gear. Turns it up a notch and sends them to the corner. They've got nowhere to run now that they're in the corner. Player 2 holding on to that corner advantage. What's going to be the play here with this kind of meter gap? What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Going in, experiencing burnout. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Gets scooped from down low. Gets the throw and continues on the offensive. All the throw connects. Quick breather. Player 2 with the rhythm owning that space. Can burnout activate. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Hits the drive. So little life left. Back into the corner. What's the chisels them down? Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. to the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Sandblast! Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireballs. Holds out with the block. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Player 2 has them legit shift in the corner. What's the play here? Player 1 has used up all of their drive gauge. Clear that neither of them wants to be in the corner. Oh! Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. We have one player in burnout state, which means they'll have to continue to fight temporarily without using any drive-reliant moves. Somehow pushes back all the way to center stage. Taking stock. Life lead opens up. Gets the jump in. With the life gap opening up, they need to lean hard on their drive usage. This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? So little life left. Trying to read each other here? Let's checks that jump in easily. Now they can go a perfect read to get the finish with the low attack. Player 2 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Fireball from very long range. What's next here? Box him with a target. Player 1 has the meter lead. With this kind of gauge gap, they'll want to think about when to use it and not be trigger happy. Uses the gauge for a super arm. The Dragon Lash Flame giving them a side switch on top of the damage. Player 2 might have just shifted this round into high gear. Now, can they finish the job? Brushes that off and keeps going. Player 1 will need to play it conservative. They're going for the super art? That's not gonna hit. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Blocks the low kick. Burnout activates. Blocks it. Just goes for it at this range. So they're recovered. And they gets the counter hit and the win. Player 2 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Player 1 chases them down. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. What's the play here? Okay, both fighters have taken a long step back. They're both looking to reassess the fight. Player 2 blazing through that drive gauge to try and set the pace. If the drive gauge is completely empty, the player will enter burnout and won't be able to use drive for a period of time, so it's vital to not let that happen. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Who's it gonna be? Will this super art connect? They get the super art confirmed. Can they further capitalize on that? The jump in is denied. Forward throw, not letting them out of the corner. Player 2 creates a good corner opportunity. Both fighters will want to utilize what little drive gauge they have. Player 2 needs to deal with this burnout. Both fighters are trying to decide their next move. Plenty of space between the fighters. What will be their approach? They're being absolutely relentless with this fireball pressure in the corner. Blossom! Left off a projectile. Burnout activates. Anything could happen here. Goes with the safe stuff with that target combo. Not much time left in this round. The fighters return to the middle of the stage. In there! Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Gets the jump in. Sandblast! Things are slow going right now, but we may see someone speed things up soon. They're waiting for the opportunity to bust this match wide open. Player 1 chases them down. Taking stock. Throws out a projectile. Looks like they want to re-establish their game plan with fireballs. You've got to be mindful of reach and jump-ins at this range. Trying to read each other here? Manages to block the jump-in attack. Blocking a jump-in attack means you're at a disadvantage, so they should be looking to anti-air instead. Doing some quick planning? brushes that off and keeps going. Midway through the round. Burnout activates. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. That's not gonna hit. Player 2 is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? Oh no, they're stunned. This Dragon Last Flame could be big. Both fighters planning something? Can they keep on him? Player 1, the drive impact doesn't work. Goes with the safe stuff with that target combo. Are we gonna see a comeback here? They're taking a step back to slow down the pace. Low, heavy, flatline them. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Comes a new challenger.
Our fighters are ready to get down to it, so let's start the match and see what these warriors are capable of.
Ready?
This will be a good fight.
Round 1. Fight.
Let's see what they try to do here in the first round. Checks with the projectile. Now they get pushed into the corner, where it's going to be very difficult to escape. Try sometime by driving them into the corner, and now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. Can they outlast it? So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Holds out with the block. Player 1 is maintaining, adds a little super juice into this combo for more damage. Top heats it up with a combo into super. Alright, hits them with a stop and pop. They gotta take advantage of this drive get a super art. Player 1 holding on to that corner advantage. Lots of distance here as both fighters look for an opening. Burnout activates. Player 1 just put themselves on equal footing with that super. Nobody blinked. Long range fireball to break the silence. Player 1 drops them to half, closing the gap. They need to rely on their instinct here. Player 1 might have just shifted this round into high gear. Big opportunity now in this corner. Almost no drive gauge left. Experiencing burnout. Fires off the Shinku Hadouken it from above. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Opts to create space to start. Who's going to start things off? Player hits them with a stop and pop. Things are slow going right now, but we may see someone speed things up soon. Keeping track of the opponent's movements, waiting for a good opening. Player 2 holding on to that, digs in deep to get that drive in. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Attempts to break the stalemate with a fireball. Gotta be careful not to whiff at this range. The low heavy's blocked. Sandblast. Gets him with the anti-air. Goes for the fireball, which is very strong at this range. Player 1 has the chance to win the round if they can put their drive to good use. Connects with the throw. Player 1 hits the drive. Can they create an opportunity? The low heavy connected? Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Fight. Round. Fight.
Backdash to start. They're not taking any chances. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Experiencing burnout. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout. Low heavy. Finds the target. Keeps him out. Then drops that off. Player baits out the low kick. They're taking a step back to slow down the pace. Player 1 is looking at a grim situation. They're recovered. Fires a blast. They're using a fireball to force a reaction. Gets into perfect fireball range. Fireball pressure. Trying to wear down. Connects with the throw. Player, nothing stops this train. This is a complete shutdown. They can't escape. Check with a sandblast. Both knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Wall flat into the card break. Forward throw. Laying the pressure on Sin. Wrecks them. Will this super art do anything? Excellent read. Player 1 there's a burnout. Burns out. Player 1 is gonna, crushes the shins. Blocks the low kick. One player hit the low block. 20 seconds left on the clock. Feel that? Are you kidding me? Player 2 was definitely sweaty during that well-earned win. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Checks with a sandblast. Goes for the fireball, which is very strong at this range. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunity. Knockdown. Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. We have one player in burnout state, which means they'll have to continue to fight temporarily without using any drive-reliant moves. All right, what's coming up next? So they break forward to pressure the opponent. Grabs them, takes a trip. Player 1 chases them down. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Holds out with the block. Up tap to close it. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Goes for the jump in to start. They both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. Goes to the overdrive. This fight is just underway. What kind of game plan do they have? Does a good job of pushing back. All right, what's coming up next?
Not good enough.
Player 2 holding. Burnout activates. Smart play with the throw. Knockdown and player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Out of drive game. Now's the time. Both fighters are trying not to get trapped in the corner. Who's experiencing burnout? Long-range fireball to break the silence. Fires without warning. Avoids getting stuck in the corner somehow. Both of our combatants are cooking up something. Player 2 in dire straits with burnout. They decide to take a breather to regroup. Out of range. Relatively safe. No knockdown as the low heavy is blocked. Player 1 will need to play it conservative until their drive refreshes. Awesome! Player 1 will look to apply experiencing burnout. Throws a fire. They're going for the super art. The super doesn't hit. Opts for the level 1 Vulcan blast. We have super arts on deck. There's still a chance to turn this around. Gets tagged by the fireball. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Blocks the low heavy. The quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. There's a corner switch. Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. They need to hold out. Checks with the projectile. Ooh, will they hit, whip, or even charge in? Tricky territory here. Shows the overhead. Taking stock. This is where things will get interesting as the damage starts to pile up on both fighters. Sticks the jump in. Both fighters are trying to decide their next move. Pokes with a medium kick. Both are just hanging on by a thread, but their drive gauges are a different story. Projectile to try and change the situation. All right, what's coming up next? Player 1 will have to fight rising uppercut. Goes for the fireball, which is very strong at this range. Goes for the super art. The super doesn't hit. That's not gonna hit. Closes out the round with the fireball. Player 1 on the board first with the win. they'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Goes for the jump in to start. Easily escapes that throw attempt. Jumps. Still slugging it out at this range. The fighters continue to check each other in the early going. They're still feeling each other out. Creates an opening with the low experiencing burnout. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Out of drive gear. Now's the time. Blocks the low heavy and knockdown and finding it tricky to manage their drive. Drive gauge is almost empty. They gotta be careful. Player 2 holding on to that corner advantage. Both of our combatants are cooking up something. They decide to take a breather to regroup. Out of range, relatively safe. Going in, the super doesn't hit. Player 1 can't let this simmer. The low kick hits. Sandblast. This is the time to use fireballs to chip away at an opponent. Manage the low block. Fires a blast. Our fighters are at a standstill. What's the play here? Who will use their drive first? A parry? The drive impact doesn't work. Tries to make something happen with an overdrive on it. Gotta do better than that. Barely blocks the jump, willing to risk it for the overdrive. Who will set the pace? Can this drive bring them back? Almost got it. Oh, yo! What a finish! Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Player 1 might have just shifted this round into high gear. How will this impact things? The low heavy hits. Picks up some damage with a long reaching attack. Player 1 has them legit shook in the corner. Now they get pushed into the corner, where it's going to be very difficult to escape. Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. Uh-oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? Starting something with the super. Will that super be the turning point? Neither of them willing to back off here. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with fireballs. Taking stock. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. I think they decided to create some distance here in order to slow down the pace of it. This is a prime opportunity to end things, but they decide to play it safe? Just goes for it at this range. They take some time to back off and regroup. Who's going to strike first? Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. They decide to take a breather to regroup. Gets the counter hit for the win. They're so good at whiff punishing.
Let's go!
Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Fight.
Goes for the jump in to start. Gets scooped from down low. Goes to the overdrive. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. They gotta be careful not to overextend or their opponent might go for a side flip. Sandblast! Player 1 hits him with a stop and pop. Fires off the Shitsu Hadouken. Both fighters just goes for it at this range. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Barely blocks the jump in. Blocking that drive impact isn't going to work. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a connects with the throw. Oh, they're in the corner now. No running away. Manages to block the jump in attack. Awesome. Ooh, lands a rising uppercut. Opts for the level 1 Vulcan blast. Charges up the plasma. What were they thinking? The low slip closes it out. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Comes a new challenger.
This is gonna be a 5-star match. Get ready for history to be made.
Round Round one. Fight.
Here we go. What are these fighters going to do? Are they trying to slow down the pace with a projectile? Pressuring them in the corner. Buy some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. What's the play here? Player 1 has not been shy about using their drive gauge. Next up, Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. Oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? Starts off zoning with fireballs. A dangerous range here. You don't want to get jumped on a long recovery move or you're going to eat tons of damage. Grabs him, closes the gap for the grab. All right, what's coming up next? Life lead opens up. The throw misses. Knockdown, KO. Player 1 on the board first with a win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Opts to create space to start. How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player 2 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Peppers them with the lightning kick. Going in. Player 2 has the life lead. Can they use it? There's been some back and forth, but no one has dominated the fight. Player uses the gauge for a super arm. Yo, kicking off their facial features with the Hyoku-sen. You've got burnout activates. Awesome. Blocks it. Hits them with a stopping fire. Player 1 has the deck stacked against them. Can they squeeze out a win here? Throws a projectile to zone the opponent. Can they? Oh my God, they just choked it up. Sticks out a kick. Vents it on the fireball. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Don't underestimate me.
Final round. Fight.
Fires a blast. The last round. It's now or never. Player 1 is in a very good spot now. Ooh, lands a rising uppercut. How did they read that throw? Shrugs that off. Player 1 and whips. They're wide open. Reads the jumping perfectly. Player 1 is looking at turns out. This may turn into a big chance. Keeps him out. Oh, yo, raw super hit. What are they gonna do? Goes airborne. Breaks through with the throw. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic for us.